Hi, everyone, and welcome to this free webinar, Pastoral Support to help our students unmask. I'd like to start by saying a very, very warm welcome. If you are here, it means that you have probably had a very long day at school and you are ready to do some relaxing, but you think you'll just get a little bit of CPD in there. And I just want to thank you because I know what it's like to get to the end of a school day, need to get a brew. I need to do some marking. I need to do some planning. I've got to respond to emails. I've got to phone some parents. It can be absolutely draining. So if you're here, hats off to you guys because it means that you need a bit more support. You want some quick strategies that you can implement into your practice every day. So I'm hoping that it's going to be helpful. If it is, please do give me a little follow on social media. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well at Inclusive Teacher Co. And there is actually going to be a podcast episode coming up very soon about masking, and we will be delving in deep into girls and masking as well. So please do follow along. So I'm going to start by saying about who I am just very quickly. And if you don't know me, then this is going to be quite new to you. If you do know me, then just skip ahead. My name is Stephanie Beatty. Only my mum calls me Stephanie, so you can call me Steph. And I'm the proud founder of Inclusive Teacher Co. I am an experienced English teacher. I left the classroom, not the profession, in 2022. And I was in education for over 13 years before I left the classroom, started my career as a teaching assistant, spent over a decade as an English teacher and entrepreneur and neurodiversity specialist. And I have been training and consulting in matters of ADHD, autism, dyslexia, everything neurodiversity for about 4 years now. And it's a pleasure to be able to still do it and still improve the lives of young people through education. Of course, I'm an author. I've got a couple of books out and another one coming later this year. I am a speaker. That's me at the Autism and ADHD show. So depending on when you're watching this, depends on whether I've done another talk. And I am an ADHD. I have been diagnosed with ADHD. I was diagnosed a while ago when I was 37. And I bring a bit of ADHD to the table as well, especially in my social media. I'll say it how it is. So please do go along and support it. And if you've got ADHD too, I hear you. And I might be starting a PhD this year. We'll see. But that's who I am. I am a global speaker. I've spoken around the world. I've spoken on stages. I've done trainings in schools, colleges, the NHS, sixth forms, um, everything that you can think of. I've pretty much done in terms of training for neurodiversity. But the ultimate goal for me is to help close that gap in education between our neurodivergent children and our neurotypical children. And what do we do in Inclusive Teacher? Well, it exists because there are a lot of children who are ND who are falling behind and it's not good enough. So we offer training and consulting for parents, for educators. We have a community. We have live training. We have online training, online masterclasses, school packages. Everything you need, we can do or we have already done. We want to be a support hub and we want to build and grow. So the more people that know about us, the more children we can help. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Let's look at these very quick strategies to help students unmask. So, first and foremost, we need to be thinking about building a safe culture. If we want to get them to unmask, we need to build a safe culture, not just within school as a whole, but within our individual classrooms as well. So, we need to state clearly that effort and regulation absolutely matter more than speed, more than neatness in the classroom. Okay. So effort and regulation matter more than the attainment, matter more than the work in front of them. Because if they're not emotionally regulated, not only are they not going to enjoy the lesson, but they're going to be in no position to be learning. Their brain will not be in the right space. Normalize seeking help in front of the class as well. So things like, guys, is any question a silly question? We have a call or a response. No, it isn't. Brilliant. Everybody ask you questions. No question is a stupid question. If anybody puts anybody else down, because they are asking what they think is a stupid question, then we don't have that in the classroom. We don't have bullies. It's about that culture. Normalize help seeking. You can even model help seeking in front of the class with other teachers. I used to call it a bit of panto. And I then used to say, listen, did you see me ask Mr. Such and such or Miss Such and such about that? Yes, it's because we all need help sometimes. So normalize that help seeking in front of the class and use some very low stakes check-ins before any high demand tasks. And use your teaching assistants for this, or your SLAs as well for this. Number two, spot it early and reduce the demand. So if we can spot that masking early, and don't get me wrong, we know, especially for girls who mask more frequently and effectively than boys, but we know that if a child is masking and they're doing it very well, it's going to be very hard for a parent or a professional to spot that sign of masking. So we spot it early and reduce demands. We watch for the quiet compliance, or we even watch for the hypersociability. We don't always need to assume that the child that is masking is quiet or introverted. Hypersociability, need for validation, need to impress, that class clown, the typical class clown. Okay, that can also be a way to mask what they're really thinking and feeling and who they really are. Okay, so watch for quiet compliance and hypersociability as possible masks. Offer a choice board as well. Okay, so if they want to have a choice with what they're doing, lower those demands, offer a choice board with one easier entry point per task. We can also give permission to opt out of eye contact, for example, without a penalty. Opt out of group work or group talk without a penalty. You can have these discussions with the children beforehand. Giving them that choice and autonomy can build their confidence. We shouldn't really be demanding eye contact. We shouldn't be demanding that they socialize because we know it's good for them. We can give them permissions to opt out, but also give them strategies to opt in as well. And adjust the environment. We are in brilliant positions as educators that we can actually adjust the environment for these children. So things like creating a calm corner, make it restorative rather than exclusionary. We want to make sure that we remove that stigma that anybody can use it. It doesn't just have to be a neurodivergent child. So make it a place where they can go and restore, not just time out. Timeouts are absolute rubbish if it doesn't come with a strategy. I used to get it all the time. The kids would have a timeout card, they'd go wandering, and they wouldn't come back. Timeout needs to be used with a strategy, and if it's not working, we need to adjust it. We need to evaluate it and adjust it. We need to work with home, we need to work with that child. But a calm corner that restores their calm. If we can reduce that sensory load first, is there a place where we can lower the lights, cut the background noise, limit any visual clutter, any water, any movement break, any breathing exercises, and a visible exit plan for them to decompress? And make communication simpler. Okay. Use very plain language, one instruction at a time, especially if we know they're masking and they're in a state of dysregulation. They're masking that really, really well. We know with masking, it can be physically draining, it can be cognitively draining. We know that children can lose sense of who they are. We know that when they get home, they have these meltdowns because they're in a safe space. So it can be draining. So plain language, one instruction at a time. And when we make that communication simpler, when we make our instructions simpler, we're actually reducing the demand. Any speech, we know to pair it with any verbal instructions, any speech, pair it with something visual instructions, cue cards, checklists, just so that they have more confidence in the task that they're being asked to do. And if we need to, we don't always have to receive a response verbally, so we can offer a non-verbal response, pointing, cards, tick boxes, for example. And of course, collaboration is absolutely key. Plan with the child, plan with the family. Can we have a one-page profile? So if they don't already have some sort of EHCP, do they need a diagnosis for that? No, they don't. But do they need support? Of course they do. So write a one-page profile. Okay, early signs, helpful phrases, any red flags. Name a single key adult and a review date, and work with the child and work with the family. Be collaborative. We don't have to make decisions about their education. Well, not well, we don't have to make all the decisions about their education without them. Involve them in the conversation if we can. Obviously, this all depends on their age and so on and so forth. And trial one change at a time. Okay, trial one of these at a time, not all five. The key is not to overload them, but also not overload you. If you're watching this and you're an educator, then you've already got enough on your plate. You already do a good job because you're here and you're listening to this, but you've got enough on your plate. Trial one change at a time. We don't have to bombard ourselves. It has to be realistic. And lastly, celebrate neurodiversity, celebrate being neurodivergent, have a celebration when it's Neurodiversity Awareness Week, ADHD Awareness Month, celebrate thinking differently. Because when children see that we're celebrating thinking differently and we're celebrating the strengths of being neurodivergent in a culture that we're celebrating it over and over and over again, we're in a better position for them to be lifting those masks because they feel more accepted. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without consistency across the school and without everybody invested in it. But we celebrate neurodiversity. It's not about what's wrong with them, it's about what's strong with them always. And I'd like to take credit for this quote, but it's actually not mine. If a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows. We never fix the flower. And that's exactly what we need to do in our classrooms. So I said it was going to be a quick one. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, then please let me know. Of course, please follow us on social media if you haven't already. In exchange for this free training, that would be amazing. And as you can see there, what's coming up and what's already out, plenty of free downloads. If you are not subscribed to the newsletter, please make sure that you are. You can simply go onto any social media and find the link to do that in the bio. We offer live Q&As, we do webinars, and we've got podcast episodes coming out. We do newsletters every fortnight. No fluff, no overwhelm of information, just realistic, helpful strategies for parents and educators. And people say nice things. Yeah, people say lots and lots of nice things. I'm not going to go into it in massive detail, but people say really nice things about my trainings. And that one there is thank you. You're an inspiration for a mum of a son of ADHD and autism. And of course, if you want some training for your school, please do send us an email, DM us on social media. You can see in that bullet point there all the whole range of trainings that we offer both virtually and in person, and there's so much more that we can do. We can do lots of things bespoke. So my name's Steph. I just want to say a huge thank you for being here, a huge thank you for taking time out of your day, and I hope to see you on my newsletter list, and I massively hope to see you at a training sometime in the future. Thank you.